Hi, this is CJ with CJatCompRCC.com. In this video, I am setting the slipper clutch on a Team Associated B5m, and the purpose of a slipper clutch is to provide, under very high torque, a little bit of slip between the motor and the rest of the drivetrain. And the necessity of having that little bit of slippage is that when the car is, for example, jumping and the wheels spin up in the air, when the car lands and the tires bite and everything else is spinning at a higher RPM than the running speed would be when this hits ground, that you don't put overly large amounts of strain on the gears and break something, strip out a gear in the transmission, or do some other kind of damage like break a drive shaft. So the nut is set to the base position that is recommended as the starting position. A lot of people, their rule of thumb is that you hold the tires down, one tire in one hand, the radium on the other tire, you snap full throttle, and you want the front end to come up off the ground 2 or 3 inches. But that is kind of a modality that has been used with rear engine RC cars. This is a mid-engine car, so all of the weight is in front of the rear wheels, and it may not be as inclined to hop up as far. So what I'm going to try to do is dial this in so that I get a little bit of slippage and raise the car up, at least raise it up onto the top of the front suspension, maybe a teeny bit off the ground, but not tighten it down so much that I remove all slippage and the motor just cogs. So let me turn on the transmitter, and this is a full battery pack. Okay, so that's just slippage right there. So I'm going to dial some of that out. Always shut down before you make this adjustment. You don't want this wrench spinning in your hand. Okay, still a little too much slippage. Okay, do that one more time. Okay, little slippage. It's definitely raising it up. This is not the torqueiest motor, and it is not censored, so I'm not expecting too much out of it as far as popping the front end up. Let's go back a little bit. Still a little more slip than I would like. Okay. Okay, that's getting the front end off the ground. And as you can hear, the clutch is slipping a bit, but it's not slipping on and on. And I think that's a good initial setting. So that concludes this video. As I mentioned, you're kind of going to have to give that wheels coming up off the ground gauge a little bit of flexibility depending on how strong your motor is and the configuration of your car. Again, mid-engine versus rear, all the weight now in front of the axles, it's a little harder to get that 3-inch pop out of this. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from this. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel,